I think a lot of people are going to look at Team A and they're going to say, "Oh, these guys they're too high variance. You know, maybe they lose lanes sometimes and then they lose the game." I actually don't think that's their issue. I think their issue is they play chaotic and then they get ahead and then they don't win when they're ahead.
INT will take control of the game the moment you give them even a frame of an opportunity. Once they've begun their Summoner's Rift speedrun, you suddenly have to play at their pace. But if you can throw them off course just slightly, then there's a chance for you.
They're unique, I think, because they play such chaotic League of Legends and they make it work. In their wins, they've sort of run around everywhere on the map. It doesn't necessarily make sense. Not that they're making bad plays, but it doesn't look like they're have a defined objective in mind, and then they just pop out at weird places and kill you.
Personally, I'm looking at Evolve Noob to be the player to watch this series. Everyone was talking about how him coming mid-season may hurt INT, and sure, they lost a few games, but I think Evolve's return has been heavily understated. Of course, his teammates have insane stats themselves, but I fully expect Evolve Noob to be the one to make a key difference in INT's playoff run. On top of that, this team hasn't been matched when it comes to just coordination and raw team power. Like, beating them once during regular season is great, sure, but what do you do when you have at least 3 games back-to-back against them?
I think everyone's going to be looking at Rare Adam to step up in this series. I think he's pretty clearly been the primary playmaker for the team. And when they went on, sort of a more impressive run at the end of the season, it was because they would get the advantages off of him, and then Rare Adam would also be the one making sort of the game-winning engages, the ones where, oh, we can actually close the game now because of that play.
I mean, INT's biggest advantage is obviously their consistency throughout their entire competitive timeline. These are the same 5 players that won 2 years ago, and their opponents just went through some changes of their own. So whatever it is you guys got going on over there, I hope you figured it out, because you have to win here or it's over for you.
Hello, everybody. We are here with the second bout of semifinals. We got Team AAA versus Team in the Trees. I'm Spencer Ultravox Cameraman. I'm here with Anti, everybody's favorite. We're going to be bringing you all the action today as we jump into the draft.
Hello, and here we are with Team AAA coming off of an incredible amount of momentum from their last, quarterfinal set, and now in semifinals against the unstoppable, they're the unstoppable force against the immovable object that has been in the trees, just constantly there, constantly keeping every single team from really making their mark. But one of the teams to bring them down in the regular season was this AAA and the immediate Kaisa lock-in for MXL.
Yeah, it's going to be looking pretty good, but you're playing very short range here, and now In the Trees have just immediately slammed down 2 threatening characters that can hard CC you and lock you down, prevent you from doing your job. Draft is flying by too as AAA selects Udyr and Rakan, looking for some counter engage of their own, and Vayne on the other side. I'm wondering, this is so scripted, it's so fast, I can't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, I really just... Both of these teams have exactly what they want to do in mind already. We've got the Kaisa, we've got the Rakan. Is this the first time we've seen a repeat champion from Rare Adam?
I am not fully sure. Is Rare Adam going for the Bob Joseph Award? I don't have the full context on that myself, but if it is, then good for him. Good for him.
I do believe that both MXL and Rare Adam have been picking different champions essentially every single time. These two are, hand in hand all the time, just absolutely crazy with it. I do remember there are some times during scrims and such where they were bringing out some crazy options that hopefully we might be able to see here. But when you have Katarina on your team, chances are you're not going to see things like the Katarina Sejuani bot lane.
Oh man, that's nuts.
Like I said, AAA filled with psychopaths, but I love them all to death nonetheless.
They're great. They're hovering the GP. That could be going over to Jaffe. That's my boy right there. Absolute monster on this character. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Jaffe use it to great effect in both Heroic and in Mythic. And if you watched last week's Heroic playoffs, you all know just how much Jaffe's able to just absolutely go ham on any champion. Brought out the AD Nidalee top, brought out the full AD Shiv top. It's absolutely insane to see this guy just style on everyone. But Broccoli, no slouch. And who knows, we have Bo Explode's signature Sejuani pick. We might still get a Sejuani top. It's just a real big question as to what they have as the answer here.
Really interesting that they choose Vex as the response to Azir. Suppose you have some good laning, some good gank follow-up post 6 as well. Help get in on these team fights, help fear those who try to jump in as well. Last pick, yeah, like you said, could be a flex. Send the Sejuani either to top or jungle. Don't know what else Bo Explode would want to play here. I feel like Sedge is pretty solid for the jungle. You can just go for a top laner that will try to run Gangplank down, look for a good matchup there. That is exactly what I'm talking about.
All right, and Wukong, you know, incredibly strong as far as melees go. You know, once you can get on top of Gangplank and with a gap closer like Wukong's, you can definitely do such a thing. But, you know, you might not have as much potency with the Sejuani Wukong combo, particularly because, you know, Sejuani and Wukong really want that stun, you know, those knockups to come in. But Oranges, you know, remove scurvy, removes all your problems. You just walk away and just close your eyes. It's not real, right?
He doesn't care. He's eating oranges.
Yeah,
He's
exactly. But, you know, the Vex coming out, very interesting choice here for Katarina. But one thing that's always been put under question, really, is how big is Katarina's champion pool? You know, we've seen the Katarina on stage once, and it never again. There's a reason why those persons got Katarina as their tag, right? You know, you do not give one tricks their champions. That is rule number one. But when Katarina's off the table, brings out things like the Rumble, you know, just uses everything to incredibly strong effect. I think this is the first time we're seeing the Vex. We could see something super strong here.
All right, yeah. Let's go ahead, start heading on the Rift, see how this one is going to play out. First match, second round of semifinals, 4th seed, AAA, taking on 1st seed in the trees. This is going to set the tone for the entire series right here. If AAA can get an explosive start, if they can knock INT off kilter, set some momentum for themselves, or if INT is going to do what's expected of them and just really bowl over AAA.
Oh, Rare Adam could be in a lot of trouble here.
Oh, he's walking forward. Oh, this is not good. Oh, he's in the pixel brush. He's emoting, and they saw him. They hook him in. They root him out. He flashed W over the wall. Will survive that attempt on his life, but does cost a flash. Kind of sucks.
Yeah. I mean, one thing, honestly, to note, right, is just Rare Adam, very incredible recon play here, right? Has decided to not level anything until, you know, you really needed it. Leveled the W, instantly went over the wall. Also, there's that spellbook recon that we have seen once at the beginning of the season and never again. And dear Lord, does Rare Adam like to make use of that spellbook.
Yeah, that's quite an interesting choice. I think that it has such high skill ceiling, but it just remains to be seen how Rare Adam will use this. Is he going to swap to Exhaust? You know, Exhaust out the Vayne, then Ghost, and he can ghost people down with the quickness. I think there's a lot of stuff that he can do. Rakan is one of those versatile champions, and I do like that they're putting priority, letting Rare Adam try to play this game here. MXL also packing the Exhaust to just have that extra all-in power in lane. And I do like how Red is starting top side and eventually will be on the moving towards bottom so that they can maybe take advantage of Rare Adam's strength early on.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, when you have Nautilus, when you have Vayne, right, you know, those are two champions that absolutely want to, you know, Vayne just wants to scale up, but Nautilus obviously wants to go in. And with Sejuani, you know, you have to be really careful. And Red knows that, wants to make sure to get a counter gank opportunity if possible, knows Jaffe's going to be doing just fine on the gangplank, and just going to look to clear as much of the jungle as possible. You know, you've got the Udyr, you've got the farming jungler, you know, exactly in place where you want it. And Jaffe, once you get one more level, you're pretty much sitting safe against this combo.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty tough to lock Jaffe down. I do like what they were going for here with like the Wukong auto attacks proccing the Sejuani stun. I think that's it's a really cute interaction, but ultimately it's gonna be up to Wukong to win the lane. Just majority on his own here. They will be trying to, get Bow Explode up here, get him to influence. This lane, Jaffe steps up just a little bit too far. He has to flash away. There's the follow-up, the Arctic Assault. He's stunned out. He eats the oranges, though. He's getting away just like we said. So got the flash out of him. Will be more vulnerable for the next bout around. Bow Explode, walking back to the jungle.
One thing to note, right? Jaffe had actually hit 3 on the last minion that died as that gank started. That was actually, milliseconds away from disaster. As, Jaffe luckily managing to hit level 3 right there. So helpful. And you can see on the bot side, Red is looking to just take Crab, not looking to actually do too much. Meanwhile, Bow Explode sitting in the mid lane, looking to make something happen. The Sejuani very much not caring about the farm route, just caring about making everything happen along the map. And you can see that CS difference is really starting to reflect that.
Yeah, Red taking an early CS lead here. Good observation. He's taken after his mythic jungler, given his best utility monster impression, full clear no matter what. Bow Explode, not full cleared at all, not even farming, will just walk back up to the top side, knows that Jaffe does not have the flash to get out of this one, and it's first blood going over to the INT jungler. It's going to be looking pretty good, putting Jaffe relatively far behind us. Look at that wave. You can freeze that too. That's brutal up there.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, that's a horrible position to find yourself in as a top laner. And honestly, Bow Explode, so good to punish the lack of that flash. One thing that a lot of junglers tend to fail at when it comes to, the Heroic League is they'll burn sums early, but they won't follow up on it. They won't actually punish that, right? And if your lane opponent doesn't have sums and your jungler's not coming, maybe you have the upper hand in the 1v1, but for the most part, the strongest part in competitive play is the fact that, you have your team, you can rely on that team play. And it just gets so difficult. Otherwise, with Bow Explode, always happy to punish there.
Yeah, definitely. Really like the follow-up, like you said. And now Jaffe, he's going to be able to crash this wave. Luckily, not going to be the end of the world up there in the top lane. Gets a nice little reset, and Bow Explode will finally finish off the rest of his camps and start a recall as well. It's the Bomby Cinder. Focus should start to coalesce around the bottom side of the map now, as the dragon is up and alive. Should be the next thing to look at, and I think that it's a good gank for either side, to be completely honest.
Oh?
Hook lands on to MXL, but the knockup is there on to Kenny Hammerspike. Condemn pushes out the Kai'Sa and will result in a pretty neutral trade. Wave is heavily biased towards AAA though, and if Kenny takes this back, this seems like it could be another brutal freeze situation. We just have to see if they're able to identify it and apply that technique. Instead, they're just going to opt to shove, maybe taking the dragon with red.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like that overall trade wasn't, too terrible for either side, right? As you were mentioning, right? A very neutral trade overall. So Kenny actually opting to back there, a little bit strange here. It's also rare Adam, opting in a little strange, but oh my Lord, no matter where you look on the map, there are always things happening, and Jaffe still not 6, still not alive, and still not going to be able to survive this one.
Yeah, Jaffe going down. I'm trying to catch up to you, and I'm trying to fix it here, so bear with me.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Jaffe 0-2 now. Not going to be looking too good. He TP's back to lane, though, so we won't miss that much. And this does give AAA the window to take the dragon on the bottom side, too. So they trade Jaffe's life for this objective. Unfortunate for him, but you like to see the early dragon stacking. Definitely a win condition that AAA can identify and play through for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, but right now, oh my Lord, no matter where you look on the map, nothing ever stops.
Yeah, Bow Explode gets caught out in their own jungle. Great invade from Red and the boys here. They're ready to bring it up to the bot lane as well. Maybe attempted the dive, but Radam just decides to go over the wall. Might be able to set this up. Just seems like another Wolves camp for Red at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, right now, honestly, you just... as you watch this match, you always expect, you always expect INT games to be a little bit more stable. But when you have AA on screen, stable is anything but what you would use to describe what's going on. As Jaffe right now just continuing to, still trade positively into Broccoli despite being down 2 kills. That Sheen does so much work for Gangplank. This champion is incredible.
Yeah, it's going to be tough there, no matter how you look at it. But on the bot side, the hook lands, counter engage. There's the GP ult, the cannon barrage. He who slops plasma proct will result in him dropping pretty low, but no kill goes over to either side. Maybe if Adam was 6 there, but still some vicious trading. Small little CS lead here. Actually, it's relatively significant. A 10 CS lead roughly for Kenny Hammerspike now, pushing this wave in, certain the dominance. That's where you want to be as the Kais on this matchup. You do have to play the beatdowns to kind of get outscaled.
Yeah, I mean, both of these champions going to be taking that lethal tempo, going to be getting a little bit more range later in the game, but Vayne probably can make use of that range a little bit more than Kai'Sa can. Not really because of a range perspective, but when you have a little bit of % health magic damage on the end of your 5th auto, that's cool. But Vayne's got some true damage off of the end of every 3rd auto, and that is never going to be fun to play into.
Yeah, it's going to be hitting like a truck. Red could get shredded through completely here. Has to watch out, has to make sure he immunes the Condemned too as he's running forward, surging forward to try to get onto these carries in the later stages of the game. But for now, will just be, the relatively weak early game power of Vayne taking effect here. And MXL and Rare Adam identifying that, getting a lead where they can.
Ooh, and
Red here.
Nice cancel.
Yeah, he's ready to back up. Jaffe. Lots of damage on the Broccoli's, dropping very fast. One more gunshot's gonna do it, but he's just gonna swing the sword. Well, there it is. There's the last shot. Shoots him in the face. Let's go.
All right, and one other thing to note, right? This might be the grasp Gangplank, but Jaffe in true Jaffe form is still going to be opting for that, that Essence Reaver, going to be opting for that crit Gangplank. It does not matter what runes this guy has. He's always going to just go for maximum damage.
Jaffe knocked up though. He's gonna get stunned out. Eats the oranges. He's trying to get away, but the red buff slows him down. One more swing of the whip, but Jaffe flashes away. Nicely done. Gets himself out of that situation. Rare Adam, you probably don't want to walk up to that one alone here. Might just interrupt the recall. Nice and cheeky. There we go. Takes after good old Hylissang there.
Yeah, I mean, and Rare Adam also just about as crazy as a support player as Hylissang is. You see the Unsealed Spellbook right now. No changes just yet. Might actually opt for a teleport back into bot lane. We'll just have to see if anything crazy does happen. Right now, just looking to get a little bit more vision up in the top side, just trying to keep things as safe as possible for Jaffe. They understand one of the win conditions in this game is just making sure that Jaffe is safe, is continuing to scale up. And oh my, there's so much vision control from Rare Adam. We are 11 minutes in, and Rare Adam literally has 16 vision score.
He's putting in the work, yeah, making sure that Jaffe doesn't go down to another gank. Really like all the love and care he's given to his top laner. Here comes the CC immune Udyr. Slows down Kenny Hammerspike. The Gangplank ultimate on top. Killer Instinct tries to go in but can't quite get it. No assist for MXL, unfortunately. Now he who slaps is the next target. Plasma proc. Double kill for UB Red.
Oh my god.
Bolo in the mid lane for Katarina Ducote. It's going to be looking pretty good for AA as they find 3 across the board, and they're starting to bust this game open.
Yeah, and it was a question, right, as to who was going to really come out on top, right? The unstoppable force or the immovable object. And right now, it seems that AA, their momentum has not stopped in the slightest from the start of playoffs. Boexplode in a lot of trouble right now.
He's going down here. One more auto's going to do it. And Red finds it with the burn, actually. Evolve Noob teleports, but can't quite get anything. He's just a little bit too late. Dragon's on the board, but now INT don't have a jungler. Hook pulls Red back in. He's going to be taking a lot of damage trying to get out of here. Tries to activate the slow on the top side. Broccoli's all ending Jaffe at the same time. Action everywhere. A hook lands on the rare Adam. He goes golden, but I think he's done for no matter how you look at it. Grand entrance, and he flashes out. He's got single here. They will find him thanks to the Sand Soldiers, but man, was that close, and it cost Evolve Noob's flash as well. Now the INT squad is regrouping. They're setting their sights on the Dragon, starting to pull people down here. Does not look like AAA can contest this one.
Yeah, I mean, that's so long of a stay for Red, for Rare Adam. Both of these players just looking at just squeeze as much as possible out of every single tiny bit of uptime. Meanwhile, MXL just going to back away from this tower, not going to greed out for these minions. You know, you've only got one minion under tower, really. But Red in the wing should be able to avoid more happening here.
Yeah, and Red's got that demonic embrace. He's ready to start pumping out the damage on this Udyr. Just needs to find his targets. He's not scared at all. 4-0. He's moving forward. Unstoppable. Will disengage, though. Let his prey get away so that now AAA can take a look at this dragon. It was ultimately just the Herald thrown down. I feel like INT definitely could have gone for the Ocean Drake there, but just chose not to, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, one thing to note about Red, right? He's always has quite a few. Oh,
Adam charms up Evolve Noob. The Vex ultimate can't quite hit. Gonna be ult for ult here. Support for mid laner.
Oh, but Jaffe's coming down.
Yeah, look at him. He's running straight to the waiting arms of Jaffe. Shoots him in the face.
Oh, one crit.
One more auto. One more gunshot. Oh, it didn't crit. It didn't crit, but the Gangplank ult. There it is. The Cannon Barrage. That's going to be fine at the 300 gold in the pockets of everybody's favorite pirate. Jaffe taking home another kill. Finds the minion wave. Reds up here. Potentially dive out Brock Lee as well. A lot of damage on a bow explode in mid. And yeah, wow. I fully expected INT to be playing like this, but it seems like AAA are the ones accelerating this game.
Yeah, I mean, AAA was the one team to take that, you know, those games off of INT during the regular season. Absolute craziness on this team, always ready to, you know, take your lunch money and spend it on something incredibly insane. Like you show up, you feel bad because it's like, man, I got bullied all game, and then you look into the inventory and Red is sitting on a demonic embrace before finishing Mythic, and you're just like, okay, what is going on?
Dude, that's fine. That's fine. He knows he's dealing a lot of damage here. He's
don't get me wrong. Like, everything makes sense, but it's just not what you'd expect.
I agree, yeah. You know, Red, he's a man that knows what he wants. This man wants to pump out the DPS numbers. He wants to be at the top of the charts at the end of the game. He wants to laugh at everybody else. Because he's like, look, you guys did less damage than me, hee hee. But instead has all that CS. He's got the red Spirit Guard, Phoenix Storm on his side, helping him to that end. It will be looking very, very good as first brick is acquired for Jaffe. Put the gold difference up to about 3.5k here. AAA are starting to quickly run away with this game.
Absolutely. I mean, one other thing to note as well, right? You know, Red, you know, this is not the first time that we've seen the demonic embrace rush from Red. It's actually something that he went last time picking Udyr. And I just really like that adaptation to know is just, it's a win more adaptation, right? That interesting ulti from Bow Explode. Anyway.
Maybe fat fingered it. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, perhaps. But as I was saying, right, it is a win more adaptation, right? There are certain times where you're really ahead on a champion and you can spend your gold in a way that will allow you to get even more ahead. But if you weren't ahead, it would be a very bad option. Like, for example, Gale Force Irelia, you know, really crazy little things like that. And Red more than happy to bring out those exact kind of variations here with the demonic embrace, sitting 4-0 on this champion. Bow Explode doesn't have ulti, and I'm pretty sure that AAA know.
Charmed up and CC'd. He tries to get in to steal it away, but now he finds himself on the receiving end as the killer instinct brings MXL in to claim that kill. He who slops is next on the chopping block. But there it is, going over to Katarina Ducote, picks it up, and now with INT wiped off the board, they could be setting their sights on Evolve Noob in mid. They've got full control over this bot side jungle. Vexult doesn't find it.
And even more importantly, Jaffe, throughout all of that craziness, picked up the Herald at one of the point in this time, and now going to use that enhanced recall to go back. Probably has quite a few parts of the Prowler's card, instead going to opt for the double crit cloak, which means that Jaffe's now sitting on 50% crit chance. Very, very important to nab that double crit cloak. Usually you end up doing it after Prowler's Claw ends up finishing up, but I actually really like this adaptation from Jaffe. It means that Jaffe's going to be looking to group up a little bit earlier than you might anticipate from a Gangplank. You know, once you hit level 13 is when you want to start doing stuff with your gold, with your lead. And by acknowledging, hey, I have more levels at this point in the game than I'm used to, he goes for the double crit cloak and says, all right, once I get one more level, I'm grouping up and we are just taking everything on the map.
Yeah, I mean, I think no matter how you look at it, Jaffe's always winning, whether or not he's grouping up or not. If he's not in the team fight and he's in the side lane with Broccoli mashing him, he's still able to contribute with Cannon Barrage, whereas Broccoli can't really do anything in that situation. But if they join, it's going to be, you know, these barrels hitting like a truck in the middle of a team fight, and Broccoli has a huge burden to make space for his carries to not only not get obliterated, but try to find an opening and take down the members of AAA. So doubly hard now.
That's true, that's true.
Yeah. When you look at Jaffe, this doesn't look like a guy who got ganked twice in the first 5 minutes of the game, right? He's playing so well. The CS is almost dead even here. Got first turret. He's pushing forward even harder, and he knows that he's going to be strong for when this third Drake comes up, and they're going to be looking for Soul Point. But Rare Adam finds himself in a bad spot, has to get out of there with the grand entrance.
Oh, the spacing.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's absolutely perfect spacing from Rare Adam and Evolved Noob. Oh.
Shadow Surge brings Katarina in. Now Bow Explodes slowed down. Trying to get in with the Ram stance. Will stun him out. Auto attacks coming in. A little bit more damage. Will finish him off, but Red's pretty low too. Cannon Barrage is there. Jaffe picking up another assist for the bank as Red finds the kill. Rare Adams here as well. Everybody supporting their teammates. Fully full support victory.
Yeah, and one extra thing to note here is Jaffe, at this point in the game, has only been able to spend 500 silver serpents. Right? That's actually expected for a Gangplank. It's actually maybe a little bit early, honestly. But Jaffe has opted specifically for Raise Morale. This man is going all in on trying to group up for team fights regardless of what happens when it happens. Rare Adam just going to drop that summoner spell directly on top of Evolved Noob, trying to get the spell book availability as quickly as possible. But right now, AAA look like they're the ones who are coming in as not the underdogs, but the absolute favorites of the tournament. But that's not what we anticipated going into this playoffs.
Yeah, definitely not. From the underdogs to the overdogs, if you will. Is that even a word? Is that even a thing?
I don't know. Perhaps. I mean, there's a lot of great things when, you know, we're talking about dogs, right? You know, they're just dogs in general are great. Hot dogs are great. Like, you know,
hot dogs are pretty great. Who knows what they're made of though? Doesn't matter. Tastes good. Love them.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
there's some plant-based hot dogs too, no?
Oh, I think so. I think you're right. This is starting to get popular. Those weird plant-based
Honestly,
meats.
there's a lot of plant-based meats and stuff that are a lot better than I think people will give them credit for. I've actually been enjoying myself quite a bit with them lately. But either way, Rare Adam does not seem like a vegetarian. Just walking into the jungle, all the plants around, but not a care in the world about the plants, only a care about the meat that's available.
Eats the hook, but look at this. He tries to get in, pushed out with the Emperor's Divide. Instead, it's Red almost by himself. MXL's in a really weird spot here. He's going in completely by himself, but it doesn't even matter.
Katarina?
He's arrived. He's putting out the damage, but doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Red, oh, it's such a chaotic fight. Broccoli's still alive. Jaffe's on 1 HP. Manages to finish him off. It's a double kill for Red. That almost looked tremendously bad for AA, but it's a wallet diff. At the end of the day, resulted in the ace and the third dragon going over.
Yeah, and just like that, you know, the bot lane of AA holding hands at all times, even into the gray screen of death. But the top half of the map going to be doing just fine for AA, gonna save that fight. Red put out so much damage, it's ludicrous. And while Broccoli was finally able to join a fight and definitely did a lot of work, it just wasn't enough. This Udyr is so hard to kill. The fears coming out from Katarina are incredibly difficult to deal with, and Jaffe always pumping out damage. It might be 50% chance to crit, but dear Lord, it doesn't feel like he needs it.
Yeah, indeed. Just putting out so much, made up for the fact that MXL grossly mispositioned there. I wish we could have had that world style, you know, team fight damage graph, because I would have liked to see how much Red did in that instance. He's going for the Frozen Heart Nexus in his inventory, which is so good versus Vayne and Azir, and even Wukong, right? It's
yeah,
a fantastic item for this situation. I love that. He's going to be even harder to kill in these team fights, and it seems like AAA is going to continue steamrolling these fights until INT is able to find some way to answer.
Yeah, and one other thing to note, right? You know, while it's pretty good into Wukong because, you know, his E giving him attack speed, getting mitigated is pretty dang good. Reducing attack speed in an aura is particularly good against a team with Sejuani, right? You know, Sej having to have her melee, you know, teammates auto attack as quickly as possible to get those stacks, when right now just getting caught out and still so much damage.
Goes wide, Red just playing with it. Everybody, he's got knocked up, knocked around. Empress Defy doesn't hit anybody over the wall. It's charmed up.
Look at Brock Lee.
First kill goes over to Katarina, and Red is still very healthy, just in the middle of everybody. Here comes the big kill, the big resets. Quadra kill for Katarina. Pentakill stolen by Red. Everybody X9 that guy. I don't care if he's 8-0. Get him out of here. Katarina had that pentakill on lock. It's so tragic.
Yeah, and Red says, you know what? You got 25 stacks on your Medjais. That is enough for you. Optimally, this goes to me, so that way I can finish my Frozen Heart, and just gonna pick that one up. No care about theatrics, just going for the win as Red has his eyes set on the prize, and Jaffe just gonna take that tower down, take this jungle, and get on out of here. Still able to participate in every team fight from super far away. Like I said, picked up that raise morale really early. Jaffe has not a care in the world, just going to continue to farm up all these side lanes, all these jungle camps, and there is nothing left for INT to feast on.
Very true. Yeah, they're starting to get choked out here. They lost the Baron, which means that they're going to have to defend versus a powerful push coming in from the AAA power play. Seems like it should be relatively straightforward too. You park Jaffe in a lane. He's got teleport. He's more than happy to be there by himself. You got your 4 stack in mid. That open inhibitor should be a pretty easy target. And if INT isn't careful here, another lost fight will certainly lose them the game.
All right, and also we have hit the tipping point of crit chance. Jaffe has gone from 50% to 55%. So now these barrels are technically expected to crit. And Jaffe is going to be doing so much more in these team fights, assuming he ever shows up to one, as we see him continually barreling down that bottom lane, clearing every single minion in his path.
Haha, barreling. I see what you did there.
Oh no.
That's cute. That's cute.
I hadn't even noticed. I'm not even gonna lie.
Well, I made you notice, and I made everybody else notice too. So what else we're gonna notice is MXL taking away the red buff. It's interesting to me that it doesn't seem like AA wants to siege. Might be looking for a top bot push here, since the top lane outer turret is still existent. That should be really easy to pick up. Just another little bit of standing gold available. Also makes it a little bit harder for INT to answer, so not the worst in the world here. Red in a weird spot. Where is he getting up to though?
Yeah, good question.
Did the stream freeze for you too?
Yeah, yep.
Okay,
that it did.
Okay, we're frozen.
Now, you know, Red in a little bit of a troublesome spot. That being said, incredibly tanky. Only people around would have been able to do physical damage. So yeah, Red is going to be doing just fine, I believe. One thing I want to touch up on a little. So Kai'Sa has a lot of available builds to her right now, right?
Sure.
It seems like we can't really get past this point right now. Unfortunately,
there's some kind of mental block. As soon as the game sees Red approaching this corner, they know it's just going to be catastrophic. They don't want to see it happen. Game's over.
Sorry, friends. Game is over. Riot Gap. It's a bug on 12.20 or whatever patch we're on.
Okay.
Disconnects lead us to lose the game at certain points. I have to reconnect, and then because the game is already over, there's no game to reconnect to, so we're gonna lose the end of that game, folks. Just a little peek in from the booth, but yeah, it's been a running theme this week, unfortunately. Sorry, friends. Sorry, folks. We got griefed on the end of the RLS series earlier this week. forget which one it was, but we got griefed earlier this week. So
Don't
hopefully
worry
we have
about the
already
RLS series. You don't have to look at
transitioned
that one.
over on the stream. There we are. Yes, so you folks can see that it is going to be the win. So I will leave it to our casters. Take it away.
Well,
Yeah.
I couldn't see any other way that game would have ended. It would have been one banger game if I didn't win right then and there. So
Yeah, honestly, it would have been incredibly terrifying to come up against a team that would have the ability to come back from something like that, right? But, you know, honestly, you have to give so much credit to the way how Double AA played that, right? You know, they got ahead, and once they got ahead, they held on to that lead with such a tight stranglehold. It's so difficult for INT to find their way back in. But, you know, this is with INT on 4 very strong comfort pick champions. Sejuani's incredibly strong right now. You know, Kenny had played multiple deathless games on the Vayne. He Who Slops always incredibly strong on the Nautilus, and Evolved Noob on the ever-standing Azir. Going to be getting taken down in this game 1. INT have to make some major mental resets if they want to bring this back in game 2.
Wholeheartedly agree. It's going to be an uphill battle. I totally didn't expect this. I thought that it would be INT having this kind of performance versus AA, but the roles have been fully reversed. Red and the rest of the squad have brought out the Uno reverse card, so only means it's going to be all the more exciting of a series, right? We will see what happens in the next game, what they're going to be coming out with after a short little break. Let's get ready for the next champ select.
You